my creative peeps, it's Craftin' Just Because with Chris Cowan, and today I'm bringing you day 3 of Christmas in July, and we're going to be playing with the Perfectly Plaid bundle that's in the regular catalog. I was limited on what Christmas sets we have, and this was one of the ones that I had from last year, but wait till you guys see that new catalog. So if you don't already have it, you're going to want to contact me to get it because it is absolutely amazing. But anyway, what this box is it's a pretzel rod box. And so you would use these pretzel rods and dip them in chocolate with sprinkles. And then this little opening, you'd be able to see the cuteness of your pretzel that you have wrapped in a cello bag. And I am just preparing you for some fun projects to do for Christmas. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You're going to want to bring in a piece of early espresso cardstock that is cut at 5.5 by 11. And on the 11-inch side, you're going to want to score it at a 1/2 inch. So let's do that. Whoops, need to get my... So a 1/2 inch, and then 1.5 inches, and then 10 inches. Okay, then on the 5.5 inch side, we want to score it at a 1/2 inch again. At 2 inches, at 3 inches, and at 4.5 inches. Okay, so now we're done with our paper trimmer. Now we want to bring in our bone folder and we want to burnish those score lines. So we're breaking down the fibers of that cardstock to make for a nice, crisp, clean box. And don't worry if you didn't get the measurements. Below when I post, I will have a link to my blog that will have all the measurements and also a diagram on how we're going to be cutting this. So don't worry about that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to layer our cardstock, or let's cut it up first. That'll be easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it to where the short ends are facing us. And we are going to take off this small rectangle on the left-hand side, and we're going to tab it. And you're going to do that on both ends. And you're going to cut the 2 boxes off on that top edge. Okay? So you have a tab just like that. Now you're going to cut up each of these score lines on the bottom, but you're going to wedge onto that little square piece. So it's easier to fold up. So we're just going to wedge out a tiny wedge. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it around. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off these 2 boxes for sure. Then on this little one, you're just going to cut off the first little rectangle box. And on the other one on the edge, you're going to do the same thing. Cut that off. Okay. Now we're going to cut up those other 2 score lines and we're going to wedge the squares just like we did before. And I'm also going to do it on this little tab piece too that will fold in. Okay. So that was nice and easy. Now we're going to take that designer series paper, the In Good Taste designer series paper, and you are going to want to put it on the piece that has the flap, okay, right in the center. So let's get that right down on into the center there. Okay, now we're going to take our labels, or our label punch here. This isn't the one I thought it was. Okay, what am I going to do? I cannot find my In Good Taste label to make this mark here. I have an idea. Hold on just a second. We're going to try something completely different since I can't get my act together here. Oh, this will work. We're going to go ahead and cut out from the Stitched So Sweetly dies that little rectangle. And I'm going to put down a piece of Post-it tape so that it'll hold that die in place exactly where I want that, just like that. And then let me go ahead and run it through my die cut machine. So hold on just a moment. And you might have to do it, like put it through once or twice, because you are going through, you know, a layer of cardstock and a layer of designer series paper. Okay, there you go. And then you're going to save this little piece that you just cut out. Okay. Now that you have that done, we are going to do some stamping. So we're going to bring in that scrap of Whisper White. We are going to bring in our stamp set here. And I'm going to do the plaid tree because that's just like my favorite tree. And I'm using Garden Green ink. And I'm going to stamp right on this Whisper White piece. Just like that. Put that away so it's not in my way. And then we need to stamp and emboss our little wood piece there. So let me wipe this off really quick and get that put back away. We're going to set that aside for a moment. And we are going to bring in our Versamark ink, which is a very sticky ink. And it allows you to add like embossing powder to it. I'm using my Stampin' Buddy here to make sure that there's no static on my paper. And then this I know is a discontinued color, but I think it works the best. And you could find this on Amazon, like the glitter embossing powder. But we're gonna go ahead and stamp Ho 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 on this stamp. The Versamark will also do what's called a watermark image, where it does just like a darker image of whatever cardstock you're using. So that's kind of fun too. Okay, this is barely gonna fit on that piece of paper. So you can't really see it, but wait just a moment and I'm gonna show you my trick here. We're gonna use the other half of this Whisper White piece as our scratch paper, since I was not prepared. I'm gonna put away my stamp so I don't lose it, like I lost my dies there. Silly me. Okay, so I'm gonna carefully put it on to my scrap here, and then I'm gonna sprinkle my embossing powder right over the top. And then I'm just going to use my scissors. And look how nice that image is. Beautiful. So I'm just going to set it down for just a moment while I pick up my embossing powder here. And then let me get it to my heat gun. So just give me one moment. And you're going to use a heat gun or embossing tool because a hair dryer will blow the air. This just gets it hot and will melt it onto that ink. So let me do that really quick. Okie dokie. There's our little sentiment. Now we're going to take that tree and we're going to punch it out with the punch. I love our punches for this exact reason. It makes, if you're making multiples of these projects, it makes it nice and easy. Punch that out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set those pieces aside for just a moment. Let me wipe off my desk here. Looks like I got some of that powder everywhere. And we're going to glue this together. So we're going to go ahead and glue the seam down. You're going to want to use a strong glue like Terran tape or your Stampin' Plus or this liquid multi-purpose glue. I like to use the liquid multi-purpose glue when I'm doing these projects live because sometimes I get to talking and look up and I'm not paying attention and it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Now I'm going to leave this one empty for just a moment and I'm going to work on the bottom here because we're going to glue this one down. So you're going to want to put your 2 tabs in, and what I like to do is add glue all over them. Okay. And then we're going to put the bottom down first. So the bottom's down first. Add more glue. And then add that front piece. And then I'm going to set it, whoops, on its bottom. And I'm going to put my ruler or something long in there and press it down. I know I'm really close, you guys, but I want to make sure I get it nice and pressed down. Okay. And then this side you don't have to glue down, you just tab it in just like that. Okay, so this will probably hold 2 pretzel rods depending on how much chocolate's on them. So then I'm just going to glue down that Regal's Designer Series paper. Okay, then I'm going to add some dimensionals to my tree. And some dimensionals to my little sign that says ho ho ho. And I'm going to put my ho 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 down first. Just like that. And then I'm going to add my tree just like that. So there's our project for today, you guys. Super simple, super easy. You could make 2 out of 1 piece of cardstock, which I like that if you're making multiples. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you can private message me. Remember, the blog is down below. So if you like the video that you saw today, go ahead and hit subscribe and you'll have more crafty goodness coming your way. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.